Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Beeb. We got a great show for you today, and if you want to call in, 570-530-8316. Let's get started. DAZN, Tevin Farmer versus William Zepeda. The rematch, William Zepeda wins by a majority decision, 114-114, 115-113, and 116-112. Beeb, we were talking about this a little bit before the show. I didn't score the fight, but I clearly thought that Zepeda won the fight.
Yeah.
And I didn't think this was really that close at all.
I did not either.
According to you, you were the one that chose, and we have it in the title here, that Tevin Farmer was robbed. So I would just like you to.
That's forgery. That's forgery.
That's forgery. Forgery is a signature of your name.
I'll show you my scorecard. I have it right here. I have my scorecard right here. I have a preponderance of the evidence right here.
You and Tevin Farmer are the only ones that thought he got robbed last night. I'll tell you that.
No, I thought Zepeda clearly won this fight. I had it 117 to 111. I thought Zepeda clearly won the first 5 rounds, and I could see maybe 8-4, but 115, 113 is a little too tight, and then having it a draw, I just didn't see that. The thing was, I thought Zepeda was definitely pushing the pace here. I thought he was the aggressor here, and I thought that he was just outworking Farmer. Farmer would have a moment here and there in spots, but the first 5 rounds, I don't think he was really doing a whole hell of a lot, right? He had a couple decent rounds. Like the 12th round was his best round of the fight, where he actually landed some pretty sharp uppercuts, actually hurt Zepeda and backed him up and kind of wobbled him a little bit in that 12th round. But other than that, I think he had a good 6th round too, round 9 or 10. Those were pretty good rounds. But I just didn't see this fight as being as close as the judges had it. I just think that Farmer didn't do enough. I guess he had the injury there. And that's another thing we talked about that before we jumped on and before we went live. He was sitting there kept looking out to the crowd, pointing to his arm and just letting everybody know that he was hurt. I remember, and we talked about this earlier, what Andre Wood would say, whenever you're hurt like that, you got to be poker face. You don't let your opponent know that you're injured, So he was really like letting it be known that he was hurt. I think it was his left arm that he said was hurt. And then when Claudia Treos asked him about it after the fight, I don't want to talk about that. Well, you sure as hell were pretty adamant about letting everyone know about it.
Didn't mind during the fight,
He didn't mind letting people know during the fight. Like you made it. It's almost like you were giving yourself an alibi if you lost. I'm not trying to dump on the guy. It was a good performance from him. He did the best he could. But I just didn't think it was enough. I don't think he had it. He was putting out enough output. I thought he was being outworked, and Zepeda was hurting him, particularly in that 5th round with the body shots. He backed him up, and he was taking some big deep breaths there. I thought he was going to take a knee or maybe even possibly get stopped in that round. But credit to him, he hung in there. But I just can't see a way of giving him the fight.
No, I don't know what he was. I don't know what he was talking about. Talking about it was a draw or not a draw. I don't know what the one judge said was a draw, but Tevin Farmer, he thought he won. Robbed.
He thought that he won more clearly in this fight than he thought in the first fight. And this fight was nowhere near as competitive as the first fight. I don't even think you can't even compare the two. It was like apples and oranges, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I didn't. That fight was like. I was shocked that it was a majority.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not unanimous. I mean,
yeah. And here's the thing too. I think the judges going in knew about the controversies from the first fight. So are they going out of the way to give him the benefit of doubt? Like it's almost like a makeup call, you know, in the NBA when the ref misses a call, maybe realize, hey, I made a bad call. Then he'll just do a makeup call on the other team to kind of even things out. Is like, did he get too much of the benefit of the doubt here because of what happened in the first fight by the judges? Who knows? But yeah, I just did it. I didn't agree with these scorecards at all. Maybe the 116 and 112 was probably the only one I could.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the closest. Yeah, that's probably the closest I could get it. Yeah. This was not close at all. What's next for William Zepeda?
Well, he's the interim WBC lightweight champion, right? So you would think that, excuse me, the fight to make would be with Shakur Stevenson, but I'm not so sure that they're that anxious to get in there with him.
That's not a good fight for him.
This guy's got 32 fights, Eric, and he's never fought for a full-fledged world title after 32 fights, and he's 28 years old. So you have to ask yourself, what do they know that what do they know that we don't? Is there something missing, in their opinion, with Zepeda by the way they're moving him? When you look at the level, no disrespect to Tevin Farmer, I mean he's a former world champion at 130, but he was coming off of a loss in the first fight. Now he's back-to-back losses and going into the second fight. So now he's just lost three fights in a row. 3 in a row now. So
and you can make a case for his last fight with Zepeda. Can't make any case here. And so his stock is definitely on the way out, man. I'll be honest with you.
What do you do?
Look good.
What do you do coming off of 3 losses? And what is he, like 30, 35, 36 years old too? He's
and I mean, and it's not like you're a household name.
Yeah.
You're a name, but you're not gonna sell out an arena with that name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're just not. It just is.
Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah.
So yeah, man, not good. Not good news for him. Oscar Collazo versus Edwin Kano Hernandez. Collazo wins by TKO in the 5th round. Collazo looked very good. Continues his unbeaten streak. Not bad, but he's at what, 105? It's like a minimum weight or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like 105, and it's hard to get excited, for the guys in that weight class unless you see something really dynamic.
We liked Ricardo Lopez. That was the last guy that was like, what was he like? He was the strawweight too. Yeah.
Strawweight. Yeah. Finito Lopez, the best boxer. I'll say it till I die, man. Ricardo Lopez. If you were going to make a boxer, that's what a boxer is.
That was one of your favorite fighters, right?
One of my favorites, of all time, man. I think he was probably the best boxer, pure boxer I'd probably ever seen. Yeah. Now, there's other guys that did things dynamically, like Roy Jones and stuff like that.
He was just textbook. He was textbook,
man, and you couldn't beat that guy, man. He was just textbook.
Yeah, I liked him too.
Let's see here. Over on ESPN, we had 2 broads fighting for some kind of title. Like that. Wasn't it? Isn't that right, Beeb? Is that what we had here? We got 2 girls fighting over what? What were they fighting over?
They were fighting for a welterweight title.
Is that right? 20 minutes, huh? Fought for 20 minutes and then declared somebody champion. Is that what they did?
Yeah. This fight.
20 minutes. 20 minutes, Beeb. 2-minute rounds. Why don't you explain this to me? Why don't you riddle me this? Aren't they 3-minute rounds in the Olympics?
Yes.
Yeah. They're only 2-minute rounds professional. How dumb
I don't like the
does that sound? Nobody likes 2-minute rounds.
I accept it, but I'm still not a huge fan of the 2-minute rounds.
I don't accept it.
I know you let me know every time we talk about it. One of these fights that you don't accept it.
I don't accept it.
This is one thing you just can't wrap your head around. You're not going to accept this.
No.
No. You just don't like this one, yeah. So this was for the WBO Women's World Welterweight title. And this fight was not as close as the first one. And Maestro and I
fought before?
Yeah, this is a rematch.
Cares.
So this
over
fight,
some purse.
Maestro and I talked about this because Michaela Mayer has really grown into this weight. And after fighting at this weight, I'm starting to see her be a little bit more aggressive. She's more of a come forward inside fighter. And I think she feels more comfortable at this weight. She feels stronger. She feels like she can take charge of these fights. And I thought she did really well by closing the gap and getting inside on Sandy Ryan. And then when they were in the trenches, I thought that her body work was really good. And Sandy Ryan, she's a firecracker too. She could punch a bit, but Michaela Mayer, just like I said, is strong at this weight. She was the more active fighter, and I thought her punches carried a bit more weight than Sandy Ryan. And Sandy Ryan was known as the puncher, but like I said, Michaela Mayer added that wrinkle to her game, become more aggressive, became more of an inside fighter, whereas in the lighter weight classes, she was more of an outboxer, stick and move type. But this I like this version. This is a more versatile version of Michaela Mayer, showing a gritty side to her. And I thought this was probably, I would have to say, her best performance I've ever seen her in. She fought a really, really good fight. And credit to Sandy Ryan too, but she just couldn't keep up with the pace of Michaela Mayer. Michaela Mayer, was grinding her down, and she definitely deserved the decision there.
Tough 2-minute pace, huh?
Most people had it like 7 rounds to 3. I think you'd be hard pressed to give Sandy Ryan more than 3 rounds in this fight.
King KO says, how was Farmer robbed when he was clinching and hitting behind the head for most of the fight?
See what happens when you do these.
Looks like clickbait to me. Wow.
You do these clickbait titles, man. I'm telling you.
King KO, it must be tough being a genius. Let me tell you what.
Sometimes you got to go along with that. You're breaking the fourth wall, King KO. Don't break the fourth wall, please.
Who is Lauren Price? She beat Michaela Mayer, King KO says.
No.
He's watching girl boxing too?
No, Lauren Price didn't beat Michaela Mayer.
King KO, come on. You can't tell me you're down with the 2-minute rounds. I wouldn't last 1 round.
Natasha Jonas beat Michaela Mayer. Not Lauren Price.
Depends on who. I don't know. I wouldn't last 1 round. Stop the cuckish behavior.
So Eric, would you warm up to women's boxing if they were 3-minute rounds?
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe?
I can't tell you because it doesn't happen. It has to happen.
So I
got to give it a chance. What do you think? I'm going to jump in there with both feet and say, yeah, I love it.
No, it sounds like you would pick at something else. You're going to go out of your way to find something to not like about this.
I'm just saying, how am I going to like? I don't know if I'm going to like it because we haven't had the 3-minute rounds there. I know. I tell you what, I like them in the Olympics. I like my girl Khalif. See what I did there? She's going to be in LA too. How about that? Think about it.
Let it go.
What's the matter with you?
Just let it go.
Maron. So yeah. I mean, would we? I don't know. Don't know.
I just don't think you're being fair about this. I think it's horrible that you won't give these women a chance.
I've given them plenty of chances.
You won't give them a chance.
What are you talking about?
They've come out a lot of
who's worse than me is Robert. Robert's worse than me, so I don't even want to hear it.
Please.
Come on. Clearly he's worse than me.
Show the kid some respect. Did you ever interview Christy Martin before?
No.
Okay, so that was just that was me and D-Style and I interviewed her, but I could have we never interviewed her before?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if we I don't know if we
maybe we didn't.
I don't think we did because
we interviewed Christina Hammer. We interviewed Christina.
Oh yeah,
Hammer.
I remember. Oh yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was all over me.
Right, man.
She was all over me that day.
Did you close that deal?
Can't really talk about that stuff, man. That stuff's private. Yeah. That was the coolest thing because remember we were on that episode of what was that Showtime episode?
That Showtime thing or whatever.
Yeah,
I was on vacation with my family when somebody had mentioned me in it. I was like, we heard
she was in the limo
and she was doing
the interview in the limo and when you watch that episode of was it Showtime? Was it Showtime 360 or something like that? Fight Camp 360 or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
And when she's in the limo, she's on the phone. You can hear your voice.
Like, yep.
You had that was the coolest thing. Remember that?
That was awesome. Man. That was awesome. That was surreal. It really was.
That was really good.
All right, let's talk about the main event on ESPN because it sure wasn't those two broads. Bruce Carrington Shushu
Wow.
Carrington versus Jose Enrique Vivas.
Wow.
Man, he looked good.
Did he?
He
not?
looked real good.
Oh, great, did he?
Put his guy down in the second round, knocked him out, and stopped it in the third. But yeah, he looked really good. Let me tell you this though. What's crazy about this? Because I did some research on this today. Because I'm like, there's no way. Carrington is from Brooklyn, New York.
Yes.
Specifically, Brownsville, New York, right?
Yes.
Riddick Bowe, Mike Tyson,
Mhm.
Shannon Briggs, Eddie
Mhm.
Mustafa Muhammad, Danny Jacobs, all from Brownsville,
Right.
all champions.
All champions.
How's that possible? You know what I mean? I mean, for real, think about that for a minute. What kind of stat is that?
You know what's crazy,
That's
Eric?
insane, right?
Back in the day when they had like the Gleason's gym,
Mhm.
New York was a hot spot for boxing. Really,
Yeah.
it really was. It's not like I remember Paulie Malignaggi was like when he was coming up, he said he had to move out of there like and travel for sparring because he just couldn't get the sparring in New
Yeah.
York because things changed. But back in the day, that place used to be a hot spot for boxing. But a lot of those gyms closed down. A lot of people don't go to those gyms anymore as much either.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I hear it, man. I think it's crazy that those five
Yes.
all came out of, and they're all different generation guys.
Yeah.
You know, Riddick Bowe, there was Mike Tyson, Riddick Bowe,
Mhm.
Danny Jacobs, another one, Shannon Briggs, another one, Mustafa Muhammad.
Danny Jacobs was a really good fighter. I don't think he gets enough credit. Like I
don't think so either.
I thought he beat Golovkin in that fight. I had him winning that fight.
He absolutely beat Golovkin in that fight.
And I thought that fight with Canelo was really, really competitive. I thought it was a very competitive fight.
I don't think he beat Canelo, but I thought it was competitive for sure.
No, I had him losing, but I had it competitive.
And didn't he have like lymphoma or something like that? He had some kind of cancer or something.
He had some type
I thought
of
it was lymphoma or something.
Some type of bone cancer or something. I don't know what it was, but he had to get some type of surgery or something. It was
And then to come back after all that and do what he did.
Absolutely.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Craziness, man. Just craziness. Yeah, he had some kind of cancer. Boxing says, did I watch Michaela Mailer put it on the line on OnlyFans or on the fight last night? I don't know.
Please.
Oh, that's cold-blooded. You did it. Let's bring Robert on here. 530, you're live.
Robert, before you get started,
hello,
right?
guys, how are you?
Good.
Before you get started, I want to ask your permission. Can we tell that Applebee's story that you told me when you called me a couple days ago? What, Mrs. Harris?
Yes.
No.
We can't talk about that?
No, it has nothing to do with boxing.
A little bit it does, though, Robert. Can we just talk about it briefly?
No, it's not. No,
Can we
it
talk
does
about
not.
what Mrs. Herrick did? So he was telling me, right?
No.
He was telling me.
He said no. Just tell me after the show.
After the show. Yeah. I'm a little disappointed. You won't give me permission to talk about that, Robert.
Very disappointed, Robert. We're very disappointed.
It's not boxing. So anyway, as far as William Zepeda guys goes, I blame Oscar De La Hoya for being a lousy promoter. You know, he's ranked number 1 in all 4 sanctioning bodies, and I bet you Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, Bob Arum would have given this guy a title shot already. I blame Oscar De La Hoya for this.
Why is it his fault?
Hey, he's the promoter. He's supposed to get you the fights, right? That's his job, correct?
But he's got a management team.
I don't think his promoter gets him the fights. I think his management team is one that gets him his fights.
Here's the thing, Robert. If you're a fighter and you want to fight top level guys, you ask your promoter, get me the guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if he really wanted to fight these guys, he has a management team. He would be very adamant about saying, hey, get me these fights. But he doesn't seem like
we all
these are grown men, Robert. This is the problem.
Agree.
These are grown men. He's 28 years old, okay? He has his own mind, okay? He has the ability to make his own decisions, all right? So don't sit there and coddle this guy and push everything on the promoter, all right? You need for people to take accountability and responsibility for their own careers, their own actions. Okay.
Hey, Robbie, did you watch those two
No,
broads scrap last night?
My point is the promoter is supposed to work for the fighter. So is his manager. Okay. We all know that fighters will fight anybody. You put them in the ring with just about anybody, they'll fight anybody. I don't know of a fighter that'll walk away from an actual fight.
It's not that easy.
So I firmly
Money's
believe
involved.
that it's either his manager or his promoter
It's
that's not getting
him.
him the title shot.
It's him. If you're 30,
If you didn't like the manager, why didn't you fire him? Or you didn't like the promoter, why don't you fire him?
If you're 32-0, right, and you're 28 years old,
Yeah.
He's 32-0. Yeah.
at some point you got to be like, hey, get me a title shot. What does Eddie Hearn always say? What does Eddie Hearn always say, Robert? I work for the fighter. Does he or does he not say that,
Right.
Robert? Can you ever
He always
imagine?
says that.
Can you ever imagine Marvin Hagler blaming Bob Arum for not getting title shots? Wait,
No.
sitting on his hands and saying, Uncle Bob, who do you want me to fight? Who do you want me to fight? No, these guys are real fighters. That's what they do. They fight.
So
wanna follow them.
you firmly believe. So Joe, you firmly believe that this is all William Zepeda. This is not his manager. This is not Oscar De La Hoya.
Robert, what I always do is I put myself in the other person's situation, and I'm just going to tell you this: if I'm 32-0, right, and I'm ranked number 1, as you said, in all the sanctioning bodies, with all due respect, and I'm still fighting Tevin Farmer, defending my interim title.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to sit and allow that to happen. I'm going to be a lot more forceful, right? And say, hey, get me a big fight here. No? What would you do, Robbie? Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Well, believe me, I would be
Don't
doing
blame
the
Mrs.
same
Herrick.
thing.
What would you do? I know you always try to pass the buck on to Mrs. Herrick, saying she has a big influence on a lot of the things you do. I hear you always try to blame her for things. What would you do if you were in Zepeda's position? Wouldn't you demand a big fight? Yes or no,
Hey,
Robert?
everybody in the chat, hit the motherfucking like button. Absolutely. But I don't know. Remember, Ryan Garcia tried to get out of his Golden Boy contract. What was it, a year or two ago? And they went to court and found out he couldn't do that. So we don't know
usually you can't.
We don't know what his
signed the contract
status is.
In this country. I mean, those contracts are up. You know, they're upheld by the courts. I mean, that's how it works.
It's kind of how it works.
So, I don't know. You might be right, Joe. But I mean, it's time.
Might be right. I mean, there's legal precedence that says I'm right. What do you mean? I might be right.
It's time for him to actually step up to the plate and actually fight for an actual title.
I'm sure he's not. I mean, I'm sure he wants to. I mean, it's not like he's just sitting around wondering. Yeah, he wants to. I'm sure, but it's listen, man. It is what it is. You gotta.
And as far as Mr. Farmer is concerned, I think it's time for him to find something else to do.
Oh, that's
you always have
up.
to do. You always have to.
You gotta draw one of the judges' cards last night, man.
You always got to revert back to that, don't you?
That's cold blooded, man.
That fight was 9-3, 10-2 at best.
How'd you have it, Robert?
It wasn't. I had it 9-3.
Copied my scorecard again.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same scorecard as Beeb had.
Copied my scorecard.
Hey, me and Joe score the fights alike a lot. So.
Do you?
Yes, we do. I mean, for example, when Danny Jacobs and John Ryder were fighting, we were actually on the phone while the fight was going on, and we wound up with the exact same.
What a coincidence! You had the same scorecard. That's crazy. Did you watch those two broads fight or what?
Yes, I watched that fight, and that was not a close either. So that was definitely 8-2.
You watched that fight.
And by the way,
so what do you think about? Because I know you always hated. I know you hated until you started warming up to it.
I don't look. I will have a lot more respect for females when they fight under regular professional rules like men do.
That was rough, man.
Plain and simple.
See what you did?
I don't like the 2-minute rounds. I never have, and I never will.
I didn't like the 2-minute rounds. They fight 3-minute rounds in the Olympics, right? They fight 3-minute rounds. I'm just saying, all you have to do
peer
is
pressure does to people. See, this is what peer pressure
go another round. That's it.
Does the UFC have the females fight separate from the men? Different rules?
Same rules.
No, same rules.
Same exact rules.
Exactly.
Same rules.
Same exact rules.
So then why the hell can't boxing women do the same thing?
I agree, man. I don't
know. And I don't know that they will do the same thing, because as soon as they do, they're going to start saying, well, hey, we should get paid more for this. And that'll
that's
really
another
drive the
story
market
for
down.
another day. That's another story for another day. I mean, you realize, I know this is a few months away, but on July 11th, Netflix is going to have an entire card of nothing but female fights.
Are you
and
going
they're
to
all
watch
going
it?
to be 2 minutes. Well, we have to talk about it, so yes, I'll have to watch it.
I don't have to talk about it. I don't have to talk about it at all.
You and I will talk about it. You and I will talk about it. He ain't going to talk about it.
I don't need to talk about it.
If it wasn't for me, these girls would not be spoken about on here. If it wasn't for me.
You're not going to want to talk about Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. Okay.
No.
I love Katie Taylor, man.
I do too. I mean, you know,
she's from New England, man.
We've seen the same thing. It's over and over. We've seen how many times we're going to watch that same fight.
Yeah, I want to see Katie Taylor fight like Alicia Baumgardner, or even you know what I would love to see? Katie Taylor versus Michaela Mayer at 147.
For what?
That would be perfectly fine.
I'd like to see him on OnlyFans.
Please, the family show here. You're talking about OnlyFans.
What'd I say? Please. I didn't even say no. I didn't even say nothing.
Please.
I didn't even say nothing. All right, Robbie, we're going to put you back on hold.
Yeah, take off, please.
Okay, see ya.
He said take off.
Fuck out of here.
All right, go ahead and tell the Applebee's story. Not just playing.
So they're having a conversation about Applebee's the other day, right?
All right, don't.
I'm not going to say it. I can't say it because I know he's going to cry if I say it. I don't make him cry.
Oh, that's cold-blooded. Said he's going to cry if he says it. 410 Baltimore. You're live.
Yeah. Hard to know where to start with you guys sometimes. I try to be nice. I don't know.
Listen, I didn't say anything off the wall this week. It's him. Don't lump me in with him. Don't lump me in with him.
Let me just start with last week. I heard you guys talking about Fundora as if he was some second-rate contender. My opinion on Fundora is he's a massive problem for anybody in the junior middleweight division. 6'6" southpaw with power that fights a pressure style. Are you kidding me? He beats the crap out of guys. The only thing that I can go along with is he has an Achilles heel in that he does tend to get hit with big shots. Now, up until the stoppage loss that he has, he takes the shots. This is boxing. You're going to get hit sometimes. He got caught. We know what happened. He got stopped. To me, that doesn't mean a whole lot to me. That's happened to the greatest fighters throughout history. Roberto Duran got stopped with one punch by Thomas Hearns. We know. I mean, there's tons of examples. But Fundora, to me, is a top guy, not just because he has those two belts. He is a freak of a fighter at that height and that length. And his opponent, I thought, had a pretty good game plan. About the only game plan you can execute against Fundora is to stay on the outside, move, and try to pot shot him, which is what the guy was trying to do. He just wasn't able to do it because you can't get out of Fundora's range. His arms are too long. He's hitting you coming in. He's hitting you going out. He's constantly pursuing. If you've ever been in a ring with someone taller than you, substantially taller, it's a lot to be said for when someone's punching down on you. It tends to beat you up a lot more than what.
Are you sparred with a lot of tall guys, Jerry?
Might typically.
Have you sparred with a lot of tall
guys? I fought plenty of guys that were substantially taller than me. I'm only 5'9", and I just know that plays into it. But really, it's just a style. and his height and his length, and the fact with all that he's a southpaw. This guy's it's murder to fight someone like him. From what I can see, he just beats the holy crap out of guys.
He's not an easy out. He's not an easy out for anybody. He's not. I mean, he does have some flaws in his game, but anytime you fight a guy that's 6'6", he's going to give you problems. He just will.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think to me, he's the top guy right now in that division, and but there's other good fighters there too. Eric's right. Zepeda doesn't pick who he fights. He's not in charge of that.
No.
That's what happens when you sign with a promoter. They make the fights. He's a fighter. He would probably fight anybody that they put in front of him. I don't think he really cares. The fact that De La Hoya hasn't got him a title shot yet is a little bit part of the course for De La Hoya. He's done that with the other fighters. I think Jaime Munguia had a bunch of fights with no title. They don't always rush guys to the titles for reasons other than they don't think they're good enough. I don't think he doesn't think Zepeda's good enough to fight for the belts. It's just when you become a champion, now you got to kind of go along with what they want you to do, what the sanctioning body wants you to do. And they may feel like he might be able to make some better money fights by not fighting for the title. But what he said last night, he's ready. He's ready to fight anybody. He's a fighter. He'll fight. I'm sure he'll fight anybody. And I'll tell you what, if I was Shakur Stevenson's handlers, I'd keep him far, far away from Zepeda. Far away. Because even if he can beat Zepeda, he's going to look like hot garbage doing it. He ain't got nothing to keep that guy off of him. Tevin Farmer in both fights was nailing Zepeda with big shots, and he's just walking right through him, relentless pressure. And what's Shakur going to do? He doesn't punch as hard as Tevin Farmer was hitting Zepeda. Not even close. He doesn't even throw punches that hard. And Zepeda will be swarming him, and what's going to happen is Shakur Stevenson will be holding, moving, jumping out of range, and doing the shit that he does. And like I say, even if he can pull off a victory there, I think he'll look like shit, and the criticism will double what it is now.
I think it's a boring fight. I think he makes that fight a very boring fight. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that I could see him winning 10 rounds to 2 or something like that. And while Zepeda's going to come forward, I don't think he's going to be able to lay hands on him. I don't. And
I think he will, but the problem's going to be whenever he gets in range, what's his name's going to grab him, or he's going to move.
Be a lot of holding in that fight.
Yeah, he's going to hold him, or he's going to move, and he's going to do the shit that he does. Every time he gets in there, he wouldn't even step to Artem. If Artem didn't force that fight would have been just as boring as the De Los Santos fight, and it was boring enough on its own. Then this last guy you fought had to take off work to even come to the fight on 5 days' notice. And he should have been able to make a highlight reel out of that guy. And instead, the fight almost goes to distance, and even the conservative Saudi crowd was booing his dumb ass. So I would keep him away from Zepeda for that reason. But I don't know who he's going to be able to fight. He's having trouble making a fight for good reason because of the way he spoils. And, anyone that gets in there with him that has good speed or good power or both, this is when this kid shows you he's got no dog in him. None. Now, lastly, that female fight last night was off the chain. Brother, if you want to deny yourself watching quality fights like that, go ahead. I mean,
I'm good with it.
I'm not in charge of their 2-minute rounds, and neither are the fighters. The fighters, they don't decide that those fights are 2-minute rounds. Shit, I've heard a lot of female fighters say they prefer to fight 3-minute rounds. They want to fight.
Sounds like a union delegate today. He's defending everybody.
Sounds
like a union delegate.
I'm just trying to add a little truthful reality. Those women don't decide if the rounds are three minutes. It's not up to them. It's up to the commissions and the sanctioning bodies. I know the one, Serrano, she insisted on fighting a 3-minute round fight, and they stripped their title to WBC.
That's right.
It's not up to them. And should they get more money if they fight 3-minute rounds? I mean, you know, that could be argued.
It makes
Sense
sense.
that,
It does make sense. The argument for them getting more money does make sense. Now, if I'm a promoter, would I pay more money?
If there's a demand
well,
for
that's
them
what it's going to
Right.
come
the
down
fight.
to.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's
Mhm.
got to be a demand
That's
for the
what
fight.
it'll come down to.
Yeah.
If it makes more money, then that's what it's going to come down to, not whether or not should they just automatically get it.
Well,
Because the truth is, it probably should have been 3-minute rounds right from the
yeah. Well,
you know,
Jerry,
right from the beginning.
Yep.
I was hearing reports, and I don't know how true this is, but Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, what did they make, like $5 or $6 million for their last fight on Netflix? And they were fighting 2-minute rounds. So they're sitting this. So if you're someone like Katie Taylor and you're saying, if I'm going to fight Amanda Serrano in a third fight, and they're going to pay me, $6-7 million for that fight, do I really need to fight 3 minutes if I'm already getting paid this much money to fight two?
Let's be honest. That was a Jake Paul production, and he's like Serrano. He's looked out for her in that capacity with record-breaking paydays for her. That's not the norm across boxing.
No, it's not.
It's just that.
No,
it's not. So it wouldn't really apply, I don't think, for her. But I've heard her say she wants to fight 3-minute rounds. These women, I don't think that they were looking for any type of courtesy or to take it easy on them. Hell, man, that fight last night, that was a brutal fight.
That was good
both of them. That was good skill level, man. Good. It was just a hell of a scrap. Brian Norman, he got his guy out of there. I guess he looked pretty good. He got whacked in that early going of the first round, and he did a little stutter step, but he quickly recovered. He's a real player there at 47. I don't like the fact that he turned that Boots in his fight down.
I don't like that either. I was going to ask you about that. He turned down what would he turn down, like $1.7 million? And now he's on an undercard, fighting with all due respect, a nondescript opponent on an undercard. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, the only thing I could say in his defense is they said in the build up to the fight last night that he had injured his hand pretty badly in his last fight. So if he injured his hand, it might not have been a good idea to fight Boots on this right there, especially considering he just won the title, the guy. And when you win that title, a lot of fighters they don't often want to go right to a fight that there's a good chance they could lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Brian Norman, somebody, it's a gamble. He's gambling on himself that he can build his star a little bit, make a few defenses, and then get the bigger fights.
But here's the problem, Jerry.
Negotiating.
Here's the problem, Jerry, because he's complaining that he wants 50-50 with Boots. If Boots beats Stanionis and becomes a unified champion, Boots is going to have even more leverage over Brian Norman Jr. if he has 2 belts and Brian Norman Jr. only has 1.
Oh, no question. No question. And those realities are ones that the fans can even ascertain. So as a fighter, I'm sure him and his management know that. That's the other problem. That fight last night, he got very little promotion in that fight. All they talked about was the main event with the girls. I mean, they hardly said shit about him or, being the co-main event. I mean, I was like, damn, these guys aren't doing much to promote this kid at all. Now he has him and his dad kind of badmouth Bob Arum a little bit in the last 8-9 months, and I wonder if there's a precarious relationship there now. Because Bob, he won't play with you, man. If you, especially now as old as he is.
Yeah, he doesn't he doesn't have a short fuse. He's got a very short fuse now. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Not a lot of negotiating once you piss him off.
Right, and it ain't like Norman's a big money maker. I mean, he got that title. It was an exciting win. He followed it up with a decent win last night. But let's not get it twisted, man. Like I say, I didn't like him turning the Boots fight down, but I kind of can understand it a little bit. But it could cost him. You know what I mean? That's where I think the real jeopardy is. He gets in there with a guy like he got in there with last night. I mean, that guy was not very heralded, but he had a pretty good hook. You could see that. And this is boxing, you get caught with the wrong punch at the right time. And now all of a sudden, not only you not the champ, you got nothing You got to go back to the beginning, which is where Brian Norman, with his level of notoriety right now, that's likely what would happen to him if he lost right now, right? It's not like he's built up 4 or 5 title defenses and people there's a big buzz around him. There's not. So if he loses now, he goes right back, to the bottom.
Yeah. So Jerry, you said you're 5'9", right? What's the weight at right now?
You don't want to know.
What's wrong with you?
Are you in the 200s?
I'm out of shape, man.
Jerry, you don't have to answer that question. Jerry, don't answer that question.
Are you in the 200s?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Nothing wrong with that, Jerry. Yeah. All right, Jerry, we're going to get running here.
I should be around 175, but my season is just getting underway, and usually by June, I drop 15 to 20 and get around 180, 185. But yeah.
So he's about 200 pounds.
What's the matter? Stop it, Beeb. What's the matter with you? All right, Jerry, we can get running, man. Thank you so much.
Just getting the stats, man. I got to input. I got to input the information. I got to input the information on BoxRec.
Beeb wants to know Jerry's girth. You want to ask him stats and everything. What's the matter with you?
He doesn't want to buy him a Christmas present one day or something. You know what I'm saying?
Like Brian, it was like, when did Brian was buying you all those clothes? Like Akim Barak and stuff like that?
All right, please.
What's the matter with you? All right. Area code 609. This is Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. 609, you're live.
Hello?
Yes, 609.
How you doing? Yes. Name's Bob from New Jersey.
Bob from New Jersey. What's on your mind?
The last guy was talking. Man, you kidding me? Shakur Stevenson is laughing at William Zepeda. He beat that dude so easy.
Yeah.
Come on, man. William Zepeda has no power. Shakur Stevenson ain't worried about any dude with no power. All he's doing is he's going to make Shakur look great because he's going to throw all them punches and he's going to be hitting air. And Shakur going to be countering him. That'll be his best fight. He's going to look great against William Zepeda.
He's going to look good against all guys like that.
Sign up.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know what this last guy talking about. Stay away from Zepeda. Man, please. Shakur will fight him tomorrow. And we ain't worried about it.
It's a 10-2 fight. I think that's a 10-2 fight. I don't think that easy fight. Zepeda's got that. That come forward style, and Shakur's got the style that makes those guys look bad. It just does.
He's the number one contender with 4 guys. One of them's half retired, and the other 3 can't beat. So what is Zepeda going to do? He can't beat Tank. He can't beat Shakur. He can't beat what's the other dude? 135. I can't think of his name. He can't beat any of them.
Keyshawn Davis.
Keyshawn, yeah.
He has no chance. So all he's doing, Oscar's trying to cash this dude out. Oscar's gonna cash this man out. He's looking for the biggest deal. That's why he ain't taking it. He is.
I think you're 100% right.
Listen, I'm not on the William Zepeda fan club, man. I'm not in the William Zepeda fan club. Believe me.
I don't know. You said he won the fight last night. Now, I mean, you came out against the title right away.
I mean, he should have won the fight. I mean, he fought Tevin Farmer with all due respect.
Let's go back to Bob from Jersey.
Go ahead, Bob.
Listen, I like Zepeda though. He's just not a great fighter, but I like watching him.
Yeah,
he's an entertaining fight. He just can't beat the best. And that's what Oscar's looking at. Oscar knows he's looking at the dude like, well, he can't beat this guy. So Oscar has to carefully place him in the right fight for the most amount of money. And that's what he's doing. So you can't complain what Oscar's doing. Oscar knows that dude can't beat any of them champs. He can't. So he's struggling with Tevin Farmer. Come on, man. Let's be real. He's struggling with 38-year-old Tevin Farmer, and we want to put him in with these young guns.
Yeah, right.
No chance.
He's got a point.
So
man.
It's the truth.
That's it.
Now, women boxing, I just don't like women hitting each other. I'm sorry. Yesterday's fight was pretty good. I don't want to see women hitting each other. I don't care. You call me old school, whatever. I know Serrano, that fight was good. I just don't like it. Sorry.
How old are you, sir?
I mean, I don't think I'll ever be a big fan.
How old are you,
53.
sir? 53? Okay.
I'm 53. Do you really like women hitting each other? I mean, seriously.
No, I'm just asking the age. I'm just trying to get a feel for the era. I'm just trying to get a feel for the era.
But you know what's funny is, like, I'm not a big fan of women's boxing, but I can watch women's MMA. I don't know why.
I know why.
Stop it. What's the
I
matter?
know why. You have a little. I know what you like watching.
But I can watch MMA, the women's MMA. But for whatever reason, I just can't get into women's boxing. I just can't. You know, the OnlyFans.
One last thing.
Yes, sir.
Man, Deontay Wilder, man, we stopped. I said, he's fighting some guy. I thought, but I ain't never heard of this bum he's fighting. And I'm like, who is this guy he's fighting? Then the dude pulling a picture of when he's posing with Deontay. Come on, man, this guy.
Didn't the guy just get knocked out?
Fighting?
I'm going to look this up in just a second, but didn't that guy,
he won 3 fights in a row,
knocked out? I think
he got knocked out by the Olympian dude. What's the Olympian guy who's knocking dudes out? He got knocked out. He's a bum.
Yeah, I got to look it up.
He's a bum. Why is Deontay Wilder still trying to fight?
I don't know.
He looked horrible.
He did. He really did. And we're going to talk about that coming up.
He looked horrible.
But yeah, I agree with you.
And I'll just leave you with this. Me and my sons, we went to New York. We saw him with that big knockout. His last win. He knocked the dude out in the first round. It was a great time. That was the same night Caleb Plant knocked the dude out. We had a great time. I love Deontay Wilder in his day.
Yeah.
He's done. Nobody's going to pay for this guy to fight. He can't beat anybody. There's the problem with boxing. These boxers don't know when to leave it alone. Joe Joyce is about to fight on next week. Why is Joe Joyce getting in the ring? He's about to get murdered next week. So he's another one. He's gonna get destroyed next week. He is, you know it.
Yeah.
Berger's gonna destroy him. He shouldn't be. These guys, we got to really take their license and be like, you can't box anymore. Right. I'm dead serious. Somebody should be taking people's license and say, you can't fight. I don't care. We ain't letting them happen. But
look what they did. Remember when Tyson got suspended? Everybody took his license. But they found some town, what was it, Memphis, where him and Lewis fought. Because they couldn't fight in New York. Yeah. They couldn't fight in Las Vegas. They couldn't fight in Texas. Somebody, somewhere will want to make some money, and they will put that on. That's exactly
Find somebody in East Op Squash somewhere, man. They can be able to get a license, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that makes me Chizora's supposed to be fighting. Chizora's supposed to get a title fight too. Come on.
Yeah, I heard about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, Dubois.
Insane.
I mean, it's embarrassing. I'm a boxing fan. It's embarrassing letting these dudes get in the ring. But thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for letting me get on. Have a good night.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it. Awesome. All right, let's go to the schedule here and see what's coming up next. I tell you what, that Auburn Michigan State game is closer than I thought. It's Auburn by 10 right now. They started out like really rough, but Michigan State kind of poised and looking to make a little bit of a comeback here. Do you fill out the brackets and everything, Beeb? No, you don't do that.
I haven't been following.
Your brother's the sports guy. Your brother is the sports guy, son.
You know what? I used to love the NBA, but I don't even watch the NBA anymore. Do you still watch the NBA?
Every now and then. I like that the Cavs are doing well, and I try to follow them. Yeah. But as far as like a lot of NBA games or anything like that, I
used to watch the NBA all the time, Eric. All the time on Sundays. Oh my God, I used to love it, but I just don't. The game's just not the same anymore for me.
Yeah. Lisa, you know what Lisa watches all the time? She'll watch soccer all the time, and we watch soccer together and stuff, but she'll watch baseball. She watches baseball.
She likes baseball? Okay.
Yeah, she watches baseball all the time. And I have
a hard time watching. Baseball is a tough game to watch for me.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure it is.
Very
Me too,
boring.
Man.
I find it very boring.
I do too. This is not even though they speeded up the pitch count and everything with that clock or whatever, it's still not.
I think I'd rather watch golf than baseball.
Nah, I don't. I'd rather watch baseball than golf, but they're both close, 1A and 1B. I don't know.
Yeah, tennis is a pretty good game to watch. I like tennis.
Tennis has got a lot of action in it, but I just can't get into it. It's kind of
it.
Like hockey, where I just don't understand it. You know what I mean? I don't know enough about it to understand it. Do I watch volleyball? Nah, I don't really watch the volleyball. No. April 5th on ESPN Plus, Richard Torres Jr., American Olympian, Beeb, American Olympian. versus Guido Vianello. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. That's a very good fight. Abdullah Mason on that undercard versus Carlos Orneas, 10 rounds lightweights. And that's about all. DJ Zamora, you remember him? That's a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Hugo Castaneda, 8 rounds junior lightweights. There you go. So not bad on ESPN. Not crazy, but not bad.
Not bad.
From Kazakhstan, ESPN, Janibek Alimkhanuly. This is on the 5th as well. Versus Anuel Ngemasang. That's how I'm going to do it. That's what listen, it is what it is.
Hey, you just got to sound it out.
That's right. Just sound it out and sound confident when you say it. You know what I mean?
Do your best.
12 rounds for Alimkhanuly's IBF and WBO middleweight titles. There you go. Let's see here. And nothing really on that undercard either. On DAZN, the 5th, April 5th, from Manchester, England, Joe Joyce versus Philippe Ergovich. Jack Rafferty versus Corey O'Regan. Philippe, I believe.
It's going to hurt him.
He's going to hurt him. Yeah, I believe that too.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I think Joe Joyce was already old. Once I don't think that, I just
He'll get better with age, especially after he he suffered a couple of tough losses, man. So been knocked out a couple of times right at this point. Yeah. It's not the same.
Not good. Lisa in the chat saying you need to watch yourself, Lorta. Wow. So rude.
You gotta start showing the women some respect, man.
I do. What else do I got to do to show them respect?
Please.
April 6th from New South Wales in Australia, Tim Zhu versus Joey Spencer, 10 rounds junior middleweights. Now, this is a crazy one because I want to say it's going to be on ESPN, but there's no TV on it. There's no TV listed for it on ESPN.
No TV listed? Oh, I would think it would be on Amazon, no? Yeah, because he fights
Joey Spencer. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it could be on Amazon.
Joey Spencer fights on Amazon. Yeah, it should be Amazon, Eric. I think. Could be wrong, but I think it'll be Amazon.
These are the stuff. This is the stuff that really gets on my nerves. I'll be honest with you. This comment really gets under my skin. The fact that boxing says, Eric, is there any place for women in the ring for you? Who's going to carry the round cards? You know what I mean? Of course, there's a place for women in the ring. The round card girls. Did you just forget that all of a sudden? Don't even judge me, Beeb. Just shut up.
Say anything.
What's the matter with you?
I like the round card girls too, man.
Right? Who doesn't like the round card girls?
I'm not complaining.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's right. I like the round card girls, and they're in the ring. So technically, there's a place for them in the sport. Yeah. And now I got to deal with this. Lisa's making my bed on the couch. That's nice. What are you going to do? All right. That's the end of the upcoming fights. News and rumors. As we heard earlier, Beeb, Deontay Wilder on June 27th, one day before my birthday.
Oh,
June 27th. What's not until June, Beeb?
Just give me just a heads up, just in case I forget.
No, that doesn't work. You can't just wish me a happy birthday now and then just wait till June. It's like 6 months away, or it's not 6 months, but it's a ways away still. But you can't just do that.
Okay,
what's the matter with you?
Sorry.
Tyrell Herndon is the opponent. Let me read you his last. Who did he get knocked out by? Richard Torres Jr. That's what it was.
Okay.
So he's been on a streak of, so he lost to Richard Torres, and then he's been on a streak. He gets a TKO versus Daniel Gonzalez. His last two fights he's won, but they've been split decisions. And one was a 10-rounder, one was a 6-rounder. So, Beeb, I got to ask you a question, man. Deontay Wilder will probably win this fight.
Sure.
Which I think is not good.
It's not good.
But I don't understand. So where is he? Is he hoping to get back in the mix with this fight? What was that Ziley Zhang fight?
Can I be honest with you?
Yes.
I think Deontay Wilder's going through a lot of stuff right now. And I think maybe he's looking at boxing as a way to is like therapy for him, to save him from because he's going through some personal problems, and maybe he needs this to.
What is he going through that I don't? I mean,
well, he got a restraining order put on him with his fiance. I guess he choked her, and then it was reported that he choked her, and she put a restraining order on him.
I thought he was married. I thought he was married to that girl.
No, I think they're not married. That was his fiance. They were supposed to get married eventually, but
wow.
Yeah. So he choked her, and she put a restraining order against him. Yeah, put his hands on her. So yeah, so it seems like that doesn't look like a good thing, and plus he's been would he go on that retreat to take those psychedelics too? So something just
that ayahuasca or whatever,
ayahuasca stuff, whatever. So something just doesn't seem right with this guy. So maybe he's saying to himself, if I get back in the ring, I could kind of like escape from all this madness. You know, I don't know.
Have you tried the ayahuasca?
No, I don't like that stuff. I don't take drugs. I would be afraid to take that stuff because it kind of makes you.
I don't even know what it does. I don't even know what it does.
So what it's for is it like it really mellows you out, from what I understand. And I've heard that some people, when they take it, they just become like very lethargic, very complacent, and it's almost like it releases too much serotonin in your brain. You get comes a point where you're just too happy. It's almost like you're in a euphoric state, you know, and that's you could be too high, you know what I mean? You could be too happy. There comes a point where you're just like, you know,
what's the matter with you?
Becomes like delusions of grandeur, so to speak.
Collazo, we mentioned Collazo is going to be fighting April 6th, okay? And he's going to be fighting Joey Spencer, which I don't think is a bad fight. And I think it'll tell us a lot.
It's a good comeback fight for him. He's coming off two
Joey
losses
Spencer's
in a row.
not a bad fighter.
Joey Spencer can punch. I mean, Tim Tszyu should win the fight, but he needs a comeback fight like this. You know, he's just come off 2 tough losses. He needs a comeback fight.
Apparently, he barred his dad from coming to the fight, or maybe sitting ringside or something crazy.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because I guess he's nervous. About it because the Tszyu name has never lost in Australia. They're like Tim.
Really?
Tim Tszyu has never lost in Australia.
He's nervous about this fight.
Tszyu has never lost in Australia, and Collazo never lost in Australia, and they want to keep that streak going. So it sounds like, you know, when he comes to these fights, there's a little bit of chaos and everything like that. So he doesn't want any distractions or whatever.
Understood. So I get it.
There you go.
You go. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I would think. And then some MMA news here, and I know we don't talk to MMA that often, but Kane Velasquez, former heavyweight champion of UFC, was sentenced to 5 years for shooting at the alleged. Okay, so his son was apparently allegedly molested at a daycare. Kane got word of this and went after the guy and shot at his car and everything like that. And they arrested him, put him in jail. This has been going on for a minute. The guy who actually was allegedly molesting his son,
you think he's out on bail? Isn't
still out on bail.
That's crazy.
And his trial is going to be on June 2nd. So they're going to put Kane in jail before that trial even happens.
Yeah.
Which I think is insane.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I get it. The judge, luckily had given him the softest sentence he possibly could. And he gave him the 5 years, but he gave him at time served like 3.5 years. So I think he's going to do his sentence was actually like 1.5 years.
18 months, I heard, yeah.
Was it 18 months? And
something
he
like
might be out. I mean, what do you got to do? 1/3 your sentence, right?
Correct. Yeah. You to do
so 6 months he'll be eligible. And then you got good behavior and all that other stuff, I guess, coming in with it.
That's a shame.
I think it's a shame. And you know what? The thing is, I think the judge thought so too. And that's why he gave him a lighter sentence, the lightest possible sentence.
I heard the judge was very upset about it. Like he was emotional during the trial. I saw clips of that. Yeah, it was very sad.
Because, I mean, you know, what would you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what would any rational person
we were talking about before the show started, that movie Time to Kill, remember?
Right. You know, but
I can't even imagine I don't have children, but I can't even imagine if I did have children, and I can empathize with anyone who does have children that has to go through that. That's just
it's insane. Yeah.
That is horrible.
Awful.
That is horrible to have to do, and it's almost hard to judge someone in that position, because if someone did that to a small child, a small defenseless child,
4 years old, that kid was 4 years old.
Yeah, I'm getting sick thinking about it, to be honest with you. It just makes me angry.
And I think, like I said, man, and luckily that judge, I think, thought the same thing.
Yeah.
And he has to do what he has to do.
Yes,
he's convicted. He has got to do what he's got to do,
he's going to follow the law.
Yeah, he's got to follow the law. Judges, everybody thinks that judges have this like magical power to let people go or whatever. They really don't. They're there to interpret the law. That's all they're there to do, Yeah. There's only so much they can do.
They don't want to get this. They don't want to get disbarred,
No, and they can very easily, especially now,
Yeah.
So that's the news, guys. That'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at jhabib1, YouTube channels at ringsidereporter.com, and you can find me on X at ringside73. Guys, we will see you next week.